Are you struggling to jockey and read your opponent's movements as you go in for that tackle? Well, I'm going to teach you how to properly jockey in FIFA 22 and overcome the challenges that a lot of you guys are facing in terms of jockeying with your defender. This is my quick guide to jockeying in FIFA 22.
Griezmann, 3 men around him and somehow finds some space. Ronaldo, fantastic, opening the drive back.
He's made himself the tiniest bit of space.
Almost feels like a bit of a taunt. Didn't really go for him. The display there is absolutely ridiculous. The Elastico on the goal line. On the goal line, the finest.
We
of
talked about
margins.
Aussie FIFA. He's not here to make up the numbers.
This first segment is what not to do when jockeying in FIFA 22. A common mistake that I see a lot of players make when defending and jockeying in FIFA 22 is holding down just the R2 button, where they're just sprinting and they're covering the gaps and they're looking to go and make that tackle, or just holding down the L2 button. Why this is wrong is because when you're just holding R2, you have absolutely no control over the defender whatsoever. You're just holding sprint, which prevents you from obviously covering the gaps in an accurate fashion. And if you're just holding L2, what will happen is the player will be very slow in the movements that he is doing when he is defending, and it will become increasingly hard for you guys to recover when trying to read your opponent and defend against his movements. So to jockey in FIFA 22, it is super important that you guys are utilizing both R2 and L2 at the same time. The reason being is it activates the speed jockeying motion when defending in FIFA 22, and it gives you a lot more accuracy and movement to the touch, as I like to say, in terms of positioning your defender to either get that tackle in, recover to the opponent's movements, or in general pounce on the opponent in a quick manner if you are wanting to do so. Sprint gives you no control whatsoever. L2 gives you barely any speed when jockeying, and you are not able to adjust to the quick movements of the attackers. But holding down R2 and L2 at the same time will allow you guys to have a lot more control in defense and position that defender in the correct manner to either get the tackle in, intercept the pass, or put pressure onto the opponent. Utilizing this technique to adjust. Holding down L2 and R2 at the same time will allow you guys to quickly adjust if you misread an opponent's skill move, or stop the ball, attempt to cut inside, or in general, left stick dribbling to get himself into a position to try and get a shot off. You can utilize this technique of R2 and L2 to quickly adjust, move the defender around into the position that is necessary to make that block or make the tackle. Utilizing this technique to pounce on your opponent. I've done a separate, more in-depth tutorial on this defending technique, so go and check it out. It's called pouncing on the attacker in FIFA 22. However, what this entails is you either right stick selecting a defender to then quickly pounce on the opponent with R2 and L2, or tracking the run of an attacker and then quickly turning to then pounce on the opponent as soon as he takes a large touch with the sprint button. L2, R2 combined is super useful for this because you can quickly turn around to quickly pounce on the opponent and aggressively get that tackle in. Utilizing this technique to cover the passing lanes, very useful. Hold down R2 and L2, and this will allow you to, in a speedy fashion as well as accurate to the touch of the left stick, be able to cover the passing lanes and block off opportunities for the opponent to pass into the striker or into the winger or whichever attacker is up top. L2, R2 is super useful for this. You're able to use obviously second man press this year to put pressure onto the opponent whilst you cover that passing lane, and you're able to obviously use L2, R2 to jockey and get the defender in a quick but also effective fashion in front of the passing lane so that it prevents the opponent from passing forward and getting the ball into his attacker. Utilizing L2, R2 to read the movements of the attacker, very useful because, as I said, it's very quick to adjust. You're able to obviously jockey quite quickly with both the combination of L2, R2 and the speed jockeying motion, which allows us to read our opponent and the quick movements that he is doing either with a skill move or either with dribbling. Now this comes in handy especially in one-on-one situations. If you're trying to read where your opponent's going to go, you can utilize L2, R2 to quickly adjust, pounce on the opponent, and obviously read the opponent as he takes that touch either to the left or either to the right, or as he performs that skill move. So there you have it, lads. That was my quick but sweet tutorial on how to jockey in FIFA 22. It's super important that you guys don't just utilize L2 when going in for that tackle, nor are you utilizing just R2, the sprint button, because it doesn't give you as much control as the combination of the buttons does. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I would like to thank you for 29,000 subscribers, lads. The support on the channel is absolutely out of this world, and I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. But as always, I hope you guys have a good day. I'm out. Sayonara, au revoir, adios, salam, and goodbye.